Chris came up with a nice
Yes.
list for us. So, Chris, give us a rundown. Give us your players to watch going into the second half.
Yeah, the way this list came together, I just want to talk through that real quick, is that, let's identify 3 players who should be the most important throughout the year. The thing is, I think it's worth talking through where my thought process was at, and then talking it through you guys, because you guys kind of bring me down to earth to show who cares. Why are we talking about this? Why are you spend any time talking about this? So for the sake of that, I'm going to go through 30 players, give about 10, 15 seconds each. We'll spend maybe a minute on a player that you are actually think could be most important. How should I do this list here? I'll just do it in an order that makes sense. So my first most important player to go through is Giannis. Team. The question that I have that I want to watch out the rest of the season with him and they're in the Bucks is this team a serious threat? I mentioned the defensive stronghold they had in the game earlier this year. They've been a better defensive team with Doc. The record's not shown. Giannis, important player. Okay, I'll just keep. Yeah, keep
running through because I might take some notes. Might come back to some stuff. Let's see.
OG Anunoby.
Okay.
This guy can get healthy again. The Knicks, I think, can really be a title contender. That trade was awesome for them. So I like me some OG. I want him to keep playing.
I like that one.
I put Joel Embiid, but I think it's really about Tyrese Maxey. Will he be able to carry the team and be lock up that MIP award? I guess if he can really carry that team, right? So Tyrese Maxey is the name there. Jimmy Butler, he's one I really like. Where if he just plays, the Heat could be a top 4 seed. I really think if the Heat are like a 6 or a 5 seed, even an 8 again, no one's going to take them seriously. If they're in the top 4, everyone's going to be afraid. No one wants to play Miami then, or either way. So then next I have is Tyrese Halliburton. Can he get out of the play-in? The guy's been kind of slumping lately. He's the 7th seed right now. Next, Paolo Banchero, same question, 8th seed.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went in order with saying I skipped the first 2, but the ninth team, the Chicago Bulls. You pick. Yeah, I said Io. I said Io.
Okay, Io or Kobe.
That's the meme that or the stat that Joey had sent earlier this week. Maybe it's Kobe. I don't know. 10, Jalen Johnson. That's it was funny when we were talking about MIP. Johnson. It made me think about JJ. 11, Michael Bridges. I don't have a reason. I just need to name a player on the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe Ben Simmons. Do we want to watch Ben Simmons? Is that important? I don't want to watch the Nets. Nobody cares. I don't care to watch Ben Simmons. He does not care to play basketball. I'm done.
No. Done.
Scotty Barnes.
Okay, I like that.
There's a thing going around. There's a. Have you guys heard this theory or this rumor that you might be like autistic, where like he doesn't like. It's okay. Let's just move on. Next is Brandon Miller. He's been really good for the Charlotte Hornets, and maybe they should just build around him instead of LaMelo. So
yeah,
maybe that's a team. Next team, Jordan Poole. He got benched. Cade Cunningham. Is he still worth building around? Joey, I know you caught some Cade Cunningham last night. So, and then Jason Tatum, best player, best team. Is he the MVP? And then the last but not least, and certainly not least, Evan Mobley. Can he integrate and take the Cleveland Cavaliers to championship level? Because he can really play with Donovan Mitchell and Garland and all the talent they have there. They could really become a serious threat.
Kevin.
Nice. So this is your Eastern Conference players to watch. Is that what we're
correct?
Or important.
Do you want to talk? Do you have?
Yeah, I got some notes.
Right, what do we got? Top 3.
Joey, you got some thoughts or what?
Yeah, I got some thoughts. You go first.
All right. So first couple thoughts I had. I'm going to start with three players. I think maybe we should go a different way on. So like Bucks, you had Giannis. I think I would go Dame. I think as far as he's, maybe my reading of this topic is important to watch going forward, because I think Giannis is going to be fine. It's can Dame take the Bucks to that next level and become that really, that dual threat that they were supposed to be at the beginning of the season. Similar with the Heat, I actually would be paying attention to Jaquez. Jimmy is going to be Jimmy in the playoffs. We know this. If Jaquez can be a legit threat and a legit scorer, that makes that team a little bit more scary come playoff time, which they are already very scary come playoff time. And then the last guy I had a sub for was with the Celtics is Porzingis. In my mind, if he's healthy and available for those guys, I think they're going to be extremely tough to beat. If he is not playing right, I think they're the same kind of maybe the same old Celtics a little bit, and can be got in a playoff series. But Porzingis takes them over that edge, in my opinion.
Okay.
So those are my notes. I
like
love
Lillard.
OG for the Knicks.
I like the Lillard one a lot.
Yeah.
Porzingis, I don't know how I feel about Porzingis anymore. I agree with Hakas too, I think. But I think Jimmy's the better
Jimmy's the better
player, but Hakas is more of that X. Like Hakas and Porzingis are more of those X factor guys, and if they're playing a high level, then the team can really maybe actually be a serious threat. Joey, do you have any thoughts?
I had two of the same teams that stuck out to me. The first one was the Bucks. I actually was thinking Chris Middleton is a player to watch. I think we've seen enough of a sample now of Dame and Giannis with Doc Rivers that like things are starting to work a little bit better. And I think, when push comes to shove, we're going to see the best from those guys. But as we know in the playoffs, things change up, and, having that actual reliable scoring release valve that's, there and consistent would be a Chris Middleton. So him getting healthy and getting into form leading up to that point would be my guy to watch. And then on the Heat, I think Bam is a guy to watch for me, because I feel like we've seen a lot of peaks and valleys from Bam over the seasons, and the load is always on Jimmy and everybody. Like last year when it finally came crumbling down for them, it was Jimmy was just exhausted, and he kind of gave it everything, and it was when the what do we call them, the first name last name guys, when the Struces and the Gabes and the whatever, when they stopped scoring like they had in the earlier rounds, it became ugly real fast. So if Bam can kind of become a consistent threat for them, which he is a threat, but it's just some games it looks like he's not even existent to the team. So him getting involved on a regular basis and being there for me is the Heat's got to watch. But everything else I think is
I think he was good on everything.
So it sounds like it's Heat, Bucks, Celtics.
Yeah,
I think
those are three.
Those are the most interesting teams, right? Like those
Yeah.
are the ones that's like, what are these guys going to do? Like, are they going to be good, or are they going to just fizzle out? Like, is it going to happen or not?
I will throw the Knicks in there as far as a team. If they're healthy, I am very curious as to what they're going to be able to do. But
I feel like we're sleeping on the Knicks, not like we as a society, but like we as a three of us.
Yeah.
Maybe it's me,
Well, they've just been hurt. Him and Randall, OG and Randall have been hurt. But no Mobley. Still no Mobley love. All right, it's fine.
Who?
Until you call him Kevin, I will not support him. So the first time you call him by his correct name, we'll talk about him.
No Mobley love.
No Mobley love. It's fine. We'll move on. All right, West. Conference. Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
I just feel like can he carry his can he finish games? The Timberwolves have been like the worst clutch team, or not the worst, but like in the 20s or something.
Yeah.
And can he be a serious threat in the playoffs? Shea, I mean, maybe with the Thunder you could be cute and say like Chet or Jalen or Isaiah Todd. I don't know, but I like Shea. Nikola Jokic to me is still an important guy to watch, because can they steal the 1 seed? And is he truly the MVP? The answer is yes and maybe, or is maybe and yes in that order. For Kawhi Leonard, he's coming up to the most games he's ever played in a single season with the Clippers. He's at 52 or 53 right now. His total was 56. This is his 4th year. So what's going to happen with Kawhi, man?
Fresh clips.
Crack clips.
You see their new logo? We should have talked about the new logo.
Oh no, I haven't seen it yet. Actually,
the boat.
I heard about it. Yeah, the boat.
I like
it. I like it a lot.
Thumbs up. I'm in.
I should. Yeah, well. Number 5, Bradley Beal. Can this guy just play?
Yeah.
Like, how is Kevin Durant going through this again? From Brooklyn to Phoenix?
Because he's stupid.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Number
they should've
6.
traded for him.
Number 6 is one that I seriously am considering. Actually, all these I'm seriously considering because that's why I made this list.
Yeah.
But Zion Williamson.
Okay.
I
that's
kinda-
interesting.
I kind of forgot about Zion.
I forgot about the Pelicans.
Remember about Zion guy? Like, remember the Pelicans?
Yeah.
Like, it's so
Yeah,
weird.
the top 5 team right now.
Did they play the Timberwolves or the Bulls recently?
Yeah, lost to the Bulls.
They lost to the Bulls. Yeah,
On
and I
Sunday
remember their
night.
starting lineup was really interesting because there was not a point guard to be had, I think, in the whole game for them. They had Ingram,
Zion-
Herbert
yeah.
Jones, Zion.
Zion played point guard for that game. They were down CJ McCollum with the injury, and then they lost some guys to the Heat Pelicans little scuffle fight that happened.
Okay, yeah, so it was point Zion that game. Didn't work out.
It did not.
Number 7, another guy that's being talked about, De'Aaron Fox. He's awesome. The Kings are fun, but nobody cares because they have no defense and no one's taking him as a serious threat in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Number 8, I think, should be. I gotta stop saying that. All right, Luka Doncic. This is the one. This is a guy you're not going to want to play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if they keep winning and playing at the level they're at, just they can keep climbing the seedings. LeBron, I'm still going to watch. Everyone, the too old. What year is this for too old? 7? Year 7 on being too old? I don't. He's still playing at a crazy high level. 8 or 9. I don't know what number I'm at. 10. I think my 10s.
Age is a number to him.
Age is just a number. Stephen Curry. The Heat and Warriors have been looking all right. I mean, maybe you could say Brandon Podziemski if you want. I don't know. Clay, but I like Curry. And then here's 5. Lauri Markkanen, Alperen Sengun, Jaren Jackson Jr., Scoot Henderson, and of course, Victor Wembanyama is actually someone who put up these 5-5 games. He was 1 assist away from a 5-5 game, and then he did it the next game. It was it's absurd with these stat lines of this guy's put up. Too bad he doesn't really actually have NBA players around him to be a serious threat, but he's the real deal,
good.
Man.
He's gonna be real good. Oh man, I like your. So who was you have here? So I don't have like a definitive 3. I don't think.
Okay,
Joey, did any 3 specifically stand out to you? I mean, I have a couple guys I want to talk about, but if you don't have a specific 3, maybe Chris can give us his top 3 that he finally.
Yeah, Chris, give us a 3. I don't know if I have.
My 3 here are Anthony Edwards because I said with the Jokic because I feel like I haven't watched enough, and then Luka. For me because Luka, I think he's gonna just turn it up. He should be in the MVP. Was he in the top?
Yeah,
5?
He's number 3.
He's number 3. Where was Giannis? I thought Giannis was.
Giannis is 4.
He's 4. Okay. So I Jokic, Luka, and Edwards.
Yeah, I had Edwards for sure. As like closing. I have Shea because I'm kind of curious how they're going to look. Just OKC in general in the when it comes to playoff time. Is he going to maybe stop getting the calls? And I know his game does kind of rely a little bit on free throw shooting. So that's always interesting.
Efficient scoring, very efficient scoring, and not rebounding, which is no.
Yeah, that's going to change a little bit in the playoffs. I think he might get exposed a little bit, but we'll see. And I couldn't come up with a third one. Joey, do you have anybody different or?
Can I cheat a little bit on the Mavs?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to cheat. I feel like it's not Luka, and I feel like it's the collective everybody else.
With Gafford, Washington, and
it's like
I feel like
Jones.
Yeah, like I think for like 2-3 years, maybe it's just me, but like I've felt like they needed to like do something drastic to find something to make Luka whole, and like they did Kyrie. They traded for Kyrie last year. It kind of worked, but like he didn't play enough, and now started this season he wasn't in the lineup a lot due to injury, and now they've got all these pieces, and since the trade deadline they've been significantly better, and Luka has I feel like he's kind of started to look more like MVP Luka.
Yeah,
it was kind of quiet at the beginning of the season, and since the trade deadline, it's been much more pronounced, and maybe it's just been higher scoring and whatnot. But I feel like we've seen this kind of story before where he has a really good regular season, and as it kind of runs up to the end of the season, he potentially, it's kind of like a Jimmy Butler kind of thing. Like he is the guy who's carrying everything, and he runs out of steam, and like, can it translate into the playoffs? So for me, it's, can the Mavs keep up the pace that they're at, and can Luka kind of find a way to not be the one that is the only reason they keep up that pace? And they have players now. They've made moves. They're not the sexiest moves and like the greatest players around, but they've done enough, I think, to make them a threat. Like no one wants to see Luka because he could put up 60 on you in a playoff game and not even bat an eye. But for me, it's not just him now. It's the collective rest of the team. Like, what you're getting out of him. He's proven it. Is everybody else going to come along for the ride?
Yeah. No, I like Luka as the third there. Just in general, or the Dallas, because I think too, where they're at right now in that 7-8 slot, I think that's a real dangerous spot for them. Because let's say they stay there or around there, whatever, they could potentially be going up against Minnesota or OKC in the first round.
Ooh.
And young teams that maybe don't have a ton of success, and then you have that dude on the other side.
Oh
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it just gets real, like the buttholes get real tight.
I think if it's Thunder Mavs, I think Mavs take it in
I think
5 or 6, to be honest.
I think the Mavs take that series. And that's crazy.
It'd be so fun.
I hope it happens.
I like hope it happens, and I also don't, because I kind of want to see that later on when things are like more serious. Like I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one, man.
I don't know if I want to see one of those teams out in the first round, but it's probably likely to happen.
I mean, depending on who they get, man, they could even get, they can get a Phoenix, they can get a Pelicans, a Golden State, maybe. You know what I mean? Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a bloodbath in the West again.
Let me throw one at you. So, Chris, on the Clips, you said Kawhi, and I think you're probably right, but part of me is thinking, like, should we be talking about, like, do we know what Kawhi is, and is James Harden / Paul George
that's the guy,
the guys to watch on the Clippers, and see if they find a way to become. Paul George has been pretty good this year. James Harden has been okay, but I mean, he's not what you expected, but the team's good, so maybe that's okay. But is he kind of the guy to watch to see if he figures it out?
Take your pick, sure. Harden's been on a slide lately. When I thought about like who's most important, I also thought about who do I care to watch and like kind of track, and like that's why I kind of lean towards the better player.
Yeah,
but I see what you're coming from with like, hey, maybe it's Harden, maybe it's Terrence Mann. Maybe it's Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook gets like 8 points a game now.
I don't think it's any of those guys, but
I forgot to be honest with you.
Harden was the other name that kind of came to my head when you were kind of going through the teams, because I think the same thing. I think Kawhi's going to be fine come playoff time as long as he's healthy. I mean, that's the big issue, but
as long as he's healthy,
as long as he's healthy. But if is Harden, because Harden's going to is going to decide whether or not those guys actually make a run at this thing or not.
And there's nothing in his history that says that he will.
Yeah, that's
so. I don't know.
That's what's crazy. All right, do we want to settle on a final 3 players, the most important players to watch?
Yeah,
last.
So we got like here. I like your list, Titus, of Jaquez, Lillard, and Porzingis, and then and Edwards, Jokic, Luka. Is that kind of the West, or was there?
Yeah, I think Edwards
or Shea instead of Luka. What are we thinking?
Edwards, Luka for sure. I feel like I can't find that third.
Oh, I said Jokic. Jokic or Shea.
Jokic or Shea, I think is probably it. Joey, do you have anybody else?
Joey, make the call.
All right, Edwards, Luka, and I'm gonna take Shea.
All right, Shea.
I'm gonna call him Shea.
So then we got to whittle this down to a final 3.
Okay, so Edwards, Shea,
Edwards, Shea, Luka, and who we said Dame, Jaquez, Porzingis.
Yeah.
I think Bam over Jaquez is a better.
I like Bam.
Bam over Jaquez.
Bam, yeah, Bam. Let's go with Bam.
All
right, Bam,
Lillard, and Porzingis.
Okay, Bam. I think Edwards is on the top 3.
I think Ant is the number one guy to watch. Like,
'Cause yeah,
it's his
Nice.
moment. It's
Wow.
now or never, right? Like,
You really come
yeah,
along.
it really
way.
is. It
mean,
really is kind of.
he's
Love it.
ascended fast, and the team has ascended fast, and he's the reason why. So I think it's his moment. It's
Oh,
just
I
now
love
or
it.
never. I would too if I was you.
I think
think-
Lillard should be up there too. As I was
think
looking at this,
Lillard and Luca. I think it's
Lillard,
Edwards, Lillard, and Luca. I think those are the three top players to watch. Can Luca, get these guys up into real contention space? Is Lillard going to be that guy come playoff time? And same thing with Edwards. Is Edwards going to be the leader of this Minnesota team? Because, I mean, I forget which podcast it was, but they're going to be a tough matchup for Denver, and I think Denver is their top competitor right now in the West. So.
This is a good list because Edwards, like these are three teams that if they just go like one more echelon over, one arbitrary whatever thing you want to say over the top, they are true title contenders.
Contenders,
the Bucks, the Timberwolves, and even the Mavericks. The Mavericks can, they're like the lowest.
You got
really
Luka, you got
Yeah,
but they're not. But none of those guys are the definitive favorite in their conference. I still think it's Denver and Boston as the favorites to come out, but those three other teams are also legit contenders if they, like you said, if they get the right breaks.
Yeah,
I think too. These three teams and these three players probably have the most approved / lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it goes good or bad, it's going to be because of Anthony Edwards. It's going to be because of Dame. It's going to be because of Luka. Like if the Bucks fizzle at the end here or continue to play poorly or fizzle out in the playoffs, like no one's going to blame Giannis.
Yeah, I think they're going to blame Dame.
They're going to blame Dame and the chemistry and the fit wasn't right and yada yada yada, right?
And then Dame's going to Miami.
Right. Luka could have 30 points a game in the playoffs, but if they lose in the first round, it's going to be, well, Luka didn't do enough, right? It's going to be, you want to be a superstar, you got to score 40 a game. It's going to be all that. And I think Anthony Edwards is kind of putting himself on that same level of like, if they fizzle early, it's going to be, hey, Anthony Edwards didn't play good enough. And if they ascend,
they might blame Cat. Yeah.
Right?
And they should. Yeah, you're right.
But there's going to be a focus on him, right? And if they succeed, it's going to be, hey, Anthony Edwards is the face of the league, and we all told you this was coming, and this guy's fantastic. And so I think it's a good list. I like it.
Sweet. Solid. So we got Edwards, Luka, and Lillard, our three most important players to watch in the last
I'll be honest,
stretch.
guys. I didn't think we were going to end up on these big name players, but I feel really good about it. Actually,
I think it was a good list. I
kind of thought we'd have some like deep cuts or some mix of guys, but
it's kind of funny. You guys were going deeper cuts than I was. My deep cut was Jalen Johnson, and you guys were like hot guys. I'm like, okay,
okay. I guess we're naming everybody now.
That's why when I was going through the West, I'm like, all right, if you want to name off Jalen fucking Williams, go for it.
I like it. That makes sense. I mean,
that was good.
These teams have the most to lose, I think, of all three of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
The most to gain.
Most to gain, most to lose. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that makes a nice show for us. That is it for us tonight. Follow us on social media at the Box Out Boys. Slide on those DMs. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on YouTube and Spotify. We very much appreciate that. So until next time, Box Out.